Hello, Romanisti and fans of Italian football. We are here discussing Inter Roma matchday 10 of Serie A. Hopefully, you got to see El Clasico today as Real Madrid came back, scored 2 goals via Jude Bellingham. Outrageous. That first hit was outstanding. I don't know what more we could say about this young player at this point because he's simply just bursting through the records. He's playing so good for Madrid. I know that some people have like friends of mine who are Madrid fans were criticizing him at first. What's he doing out there? He doesn't fit into Spanish tactics. Yeah, right. This kid could possibly even win the Ballon d'Or. But on to Roma's match day, all the signs are against them. And being those signs, let's take a look at some of those statistics here via Google. Inter unbeaten in 11 of their last 12 against Roma in Serie A. The only win was back in 2022. Inter have the most wins in their Serie A history against Roma. That's 76, and the most goals scored, 293. So this is their favorite victim. Roma, though, unbeaten in 4 of their last 6 away games against Inter, but Inter have won 7 of their first 9 games of this season, which puts them just at the top of Serie A right now. Roma, though, they've been doing pretty good. Last 6 games, they've won 5 out of those last 6. They're at the top of the Europa League. Perfect record, 3 out of 3. Lukaku can't stop scoring. He's got what is it, 8 out of his first 10 matches for Roma. So there's some good signs here that we could look at, especially as well. I shouldn't say especially, but when we consider the record, the historic record of Inter Milan, that they're in first, that they're probably the best, one of the best teams in Europe right now against the Roma, which is growing. I am a little bit worried that if this result does not become positive, it could affect Roma from like a negative, from a standpoint where it starts to make them think like, oh, we can't do it, we can't beat the big teams. But that's not the situation. I hope that Roma do go to the San Siro and get a result, even without these players. We're talking without Dybala, Pellegrini, Renato Sanchez, Kumbula, Chris Smalling, and I know I'm missing somebody here, Chris Smalling. So as we look at the starting 11 here, this is predicted by Gazzetta dello Sport, Mancini, Llorente, and Dica, which there's no other option here. You can't put Chris in. But from the left, GTS is saying Zalewski over Spinazzola. Now, Sportsmo is saying Spinazzola. I think if Spina is fit, maybe there's some muscle issues going on that I don't know about. But if he's fit, it's Spinazzola's position to lose, I think, at this point. Bove, Paredes, Cristante should be the starting three in the center of the pitch. Cristante should not be playing center back. I don't think he will. I think it's going to be this midfield. Karsdorp should get the start. He's pretty much locked down that right spot. El Shaarawy and Lukaku. El Shaarawy is Roma's best answer to a Dybala-less Roma. This is the best way that Mourinho can go. Somebody who won't be on the bench, unfortunately. And Mourinho spoke about that in the last press conference, citing that people were stupid to think that he didn't want to be facing against Inter, but actually against teams that he's coached. Mourinho does not have a good record, losing, I think, 7. It's either not picking up a result or losing his last 7. He's lost 6 of his last 7 games against former clubs in all competitions. There you go. I picked that one up there from Sports Mole. But Inter in good form. They're tied for first in the Europa League in the Champions League for 7 points. And like I mentioned, I think they are one of the best teams in Europe at this moment. But if we look back at their side of things, it's very strong. Bastoni becoming one of the best center backs in Europe. Di Marco arguably top 5 left wing back in Europe at this point. Mkhitaryan, who'll be pulling the strings for them. Barella and Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu scored last. I think he scored against Red Bull Salzburg, and he also scored last weekend. So he's got 2 goals in 2 games. And Lautaro Martinez is probably going to win the Capocannoniere award with Thuram, who's fitting really nicely. So as much as Inter fans can complain about Lukaku and whatever text messages or whatever situation happened towards last season, doesn't rejoin the club, they should be pretty thankful that they've got Thuram in their ranks because he's a guy who's about to enter his prime. He's doing very well, not just goals, but also assists. But yes, El Shaarawy Lukaku combination. And, I always use this phrase, there's not more we could say. There's not enough we could say about El Shaarawy, but in this situation, really, he's everything you want from a player. He's experienced. He's a veteran. He fights for the club. He's in the rotation. He doesn't complain. He comes up with big moments, shows the right stuff up here, and he's been working really hard. Last game in the Europa League. I thought he put on a really good performance again, and Bove will definitely, based off that form, be getting rewarded there with another start. So just looking at those stats, though, I think that Roma should feel a little bit less pressure, knowing that Inter have such a good pedigree, have such a good record against them. There is this going around that this has been banned. If you saw that Inter Milan fans had 50,000 whistles, supposedly they're going to be fined 20 euros if they do bring whistles in. But now I read that they're even going to be using an app, like a fake whistle sound. So let's see what happens with that. Let's take a look at recent form between Serie A and all around. So Inter getting 2 wins out of their last 3, but there is a loss in there. And that's, I'm not sure which game that is, but Roma, 3 wins in a row in Serie A and 5 wins in all competitions, 5 out of their last 6. That loss, I believe, is the one against Genoa, the 4-1 loss. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll be live streaming after the game. If for some reason I am not on directly after, it will be within the next few hours after it ending. We've got a lot of family stuff going on, but that's the plan as of now. Keep an eye on the reminders and what's going on YouTube. If something pops up. Also on Twitter, you can find me, Instagram as well. We'll talk soon. All right, guys. Forza Roma. Ciao.